Friends Indeed. They have a presentation for us. So let's go ahead and got them all set up. Thank you.
Right.
All right. Joshua, welcome, Rabbi Joshua.
Thank you. So first, thank you so much to Cynthia and to her colleagues, for putting this together. Cynthia is a longtime supporter of Friends Indeed, and we're so grateful when she introduces us to all her wonderful friends. So we have a brand new promo video that was just produced for us pro bono by a wonderful new friends, Machine Age Media. And so I'm just going to start. It's about 2-3 minutes to show you that, because that's going to tell you everything about Friends Indeed that you would ever want to know. So let me make this full screen and view full screen and get rid of you all and put that up here and put this like this. Okay, here we go.
Since 1894, we've made it our mission at Friends Indeed to reach out and help those who find themselves on the margin with dignity and respect. We believe that giving to those in need helps build a stronger community in Pasadena. Every year, we distribute more than 625,000 pounds of groceries through our food pantry. That's 520,000 meals per year, or 10,000 meals per week, to 370 households. Our pantry is like a neighborhood market where families can choose the foods they want. And not just canned goods. We provide over 2,000 pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables each week. Our bad weather shelter gives folks experiencing homelessness refuge from the winter cold and rain. We operate when needed, about 40 nights out of the year. We set up cots for 80 people each night, and our volunteers are happy to provide a hot, healthy meal and a safe place to sleep. In the women's room, we believe in giving at-risk women a space to build meaningful lives through community, boosting their confidence and self-esteem by engaging in many forms of art, writing, and self-care. And we even help with the everyday stuff, like showers, clean laundry, good food, and a place to find support and love. The results can be life-changing.
Whoa. What just happened?
Since
Whoa, sorry about
1894,
that. I don't know what happened.
we've made it our mission in the women's room.
Sorry.
We believe in giving at-risk women a space to build meaningful lives through community, boosting their confidence and self-esteem by engaging in many forms of art, writing, and self-care. And we even help with the everyday stuff, like showers, clean laundry, good food, and a place to find support and love. The results can be life-changing. Our eviction prevention and rental assistance programs help neighbors hold on to housing by providing short-term rental assistance and case management. Our street outreach team works to build relationships with people experiencing homelessness. We identify and reach out to about 130 folks every year. Our goal is to navigate them into bridge and permanent housing and give them keys to a new life. Since 1894, we've been doing together what you cannot do alone. Through compassion, connection, and dignity, we are changing lives. At Friends Indeed, we serve our neighbors in need. Join us in helping the Pasadena community. To learn more or to donate to our cause, visit us at friendsindeedpas.org.
Great. So sorry about that. I'm not sure why it did that. But hopefully that was a good introduction to everything that we do. And one of the most important things that we'd like to share are actual stories of real people in their real lives. And that this video is more the kind of the general programmatic aspects and some of the statistics and things like that. But especially in the women's room, there are just some really wonderful stories of people's lives. So we've asked two of our staff from the women's room, Marlene Martinez, who's the director of the women's room, and Jane Armbruster, who is the program associate. Both of them been in the women's room for a long time and work with these ladies. And I think they'd probably say it's not really work. They really care about and love these ladies. So we've asked them to just share a few, two stories about real people so that you can get a sense of who we're helping and how we're helping. So why don't we start with Marlene?
Hi, everyone. So, just one of the stories that I mean, it just touches my heart is one of our guests. She had been homeless for over 14 years. She was in her late 50s, sleeping in her SUV in the park, right there on Washington Street. She did not know about us. Somehow she did hear about us. She started coming, she came in super shy, not really socializing, just kind of, I guess, checking us out, seeing how whether she was going to like us or not. She started, as she enjoyed coming there, she would use the services that we'd offer, the showers, the laundry and all that, the meal. And she started coming every day. So I eventually started working with her, getting to know her, hearing her story. And I guess what had happened was that she used to rent a place with her husband. Both of them, she was disabled. So she received Social Security disability, and her husband was working, but then he passed away. Obviously, all of us are aware that in Pasadena, the rent prices are very high. I mean, someone on Social Security disability, you can't just do it on one income. So she became homeless, too prideful to ask for help, or maybe just not knowing where she could go for help, never have been in that situation. So after a few months, I guess she started trusting us. She started opening up, telling us her story. And I eventually started working with her towards housing. We were able to get her, an apartment with subsidized housing, just a few buildings down our place. She was so thankful, so happy. Just everything about her demeanor just changed after being housed for a week. I mean, she glowed. She was, coming in. So eventually she wanted to give back. And so she started volunteering at Friends ND. She started volunteering, helping us out in the laundry room. And she did it for about a year and a half. And this, we never ask anyone to pay us back, because we do this. I mean, we just do this because this is our job. And she wanted to pay us back. So, I mean, she never took one penny from us, not a gift, not anything. And she would just literally, she would get there when I'd get there to set things up, and she would leave when I would leave. I still see her, and it's just really nice to know that we were able to change someone's life in such a drastic way. There's other stories, such as individuals, not everybody is homeless. There's this specific lady who still comes, and she's been coming for at least 5 years, and she's housed, but she has learning disabilities. And she comes, and she enjoys the community. She has befriended, some of the other guests there. If they don't show up, she'll ask for them. She hardly knows any English, but she still manages to have conversations with English speakers. And it's just, she's not shy. When she was first coming, she was very, timid, kind of would keep to herself, and she's just opened up so much. And with her, she comes more than anything for support. We have helped her get into, affordable housing, because where she was living, renting a room for rent. And we were able to get her, it's shared housing, but her own room, with the case manager. And, she still comes, and I do the easiest, what I consider the easiest things, but for her, it's very complicated. So what I do, first of all, is I translate a lot between, for her and the house manager. The other day I got a phone call from the house manager just asking me if I could tell that guest how to mop, how to mop properly, because she was leaving the floor wet. So everybody in this place, they have weekly chores. Or she'll come in, like today, for example, she came in and she wanted me to help her fill out this paperwork for her insurance. They had, that her Medi-Cal had changed her doctors. And so I was, anyway, so I got the paperwork, and it's just simple things as far as like name, address, who do you choose, what plan do you have? But these are things because of her language barrier and her disability that she's not able to complete. So she definitely uses our program for support in those type of, that service that we do offer there. So
Thank you. Thanks, Marlene. So we asked Jane as well to share. She's a program associate, and has similar and different responsibilities in the women's room, and wanted her to share a little bit about someone that she works with.
Hi, everyone. I apologize. My neighbor thought that this would be the best time of day to go out back with a hammer and a buzzsaw. So if you can hear that in the background, I greatly apologize. Anyway, as far as guests go, when we were asked to kind of reflect back on who we might talk about tonight, Marlene and I were discussing it, and we wanted to show kind of a broad spectrum of the type of people we meet and that we get to interact with on a daily basis. The guest I'm going to talk about has some developmental disabilities. She suffers from bipolar disorder and PTSD. The one person she had in the world was her husband, and he passed away. And this was about 3 years ago that she showed up at Friends Indeed. She had been crying on a bus to a doctor's appointment, and one of our guests who'd been coming to us for many, many years saw her and reached out to her and said, oh, I know you feel bad, but come with me to this place. You got to come with me to this place and at least have some lunch and at least talk with me. And by the grace of God, she went with her and she came to us. So this guest, very frightened at first, very deeply trying to process her grief. And when you hear, when Cynthia was reading our description, you heard homeless and at-risk women. And for us, at risk is not just at risk of becoming homeless. At risk can be at risk of a lot of things, such as a mental health crisis. So we're talking about a woman who had no one in the world. Her family was in Germany. She was friends with her landlord, and that was it. And she was dealing with the death and navigation of a world that she didn't know or understand. She had no one to hold her hand through. She would slowly begin to talk with me, to meet with me. And over the past 3 years, it's gotten to the point where she's laughing again. She's exchanging phone numbers with the other ladies. She comes in and cracks jokes with me. She's doing a little online dating. She's having a fuller life, a life with more color. And something that people, I know myself, before I got into this work, something I never thought of was how many people I had to listen to me. You know, if I wanted to talk about my deep feelings, I had dear friends or spiritual community. If I wanted to talk about hair, makeup, nails, whatever, it could be the silliest, smallest little thing, but I had tons of friends that I could talk to about that. So she can come in wanting to talk about something deep, or we can have her or a guest like her come in and say, what do you think of my top today? This is the deal I got it on. This is the sale. And they just want to be treated with the dignity that every single woman wants to be treated with when they come to us. So it doesn't have to be some big earth-shattering therapeutic modality, although we do want to give them the space for that and the active listening for that. It can also be something as small as someone wants, you know, one of the guests that Marlene was talking about, the second one she spoke of, wanted to talk to me about her hair dye and dyeing her hair. And so it's just, it can be such a thing that we all take for granted. And, you know, I feel very blessed that when we do this work, we can see the tiniest little things that we don't even think of make a huge difference. And thank you for having us here tonight. It's always a pleasure to get to just talk about what we do. It's a passion. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jane. Yay. So I'm aware, Cynthia, of the time, but we wanted to leave just a space or two for questions. And I just want to give kudos to Marlene and Jane because for the past year plus, like all of our programs, but particularly in the women's room, because it's all indoors and it's very close quarters. And we're seeing, you know, now 10 to 12, 15 at the most. Before the pandemic, it was 25 to 30 women every day, tons of volunteers, tons of activities. You never would think this is a bunch of homeless or sad, or there was laughing and hairdressing and manicures and writing groups and all kinds of stuff. And with COVID, after several weeks of being closed, Marlene and Jane were able to figure out how to continue to run the women's room with social distancing, with masks. If anyone's been to Friends Indeed, there really is barely 6 feet apart to stand. And so, and ladies were scared. We're seeing a lot fewer, but now it's starting to grow. And we just in the past week or so, and the other big thing about Friends Indeed is all of our volunteers. And just to call out Mary Kay, who's here, longtime volunteer in the women's room, like many others, was just not safe to come and volunteer. And that is a huge loss in all of our programs, because not only do we need their help, you know, Marlene and Jane are used to having several volunteers a day, morning and afternoon shifts. But the ladies really miss seeing the volunteers and talking to them, and the volunteers miss themselves because they're a community of people. These volunteers are amazing. They've been coming on every Thursday or Tuesday for years. And so we're really, this past week or so, we're starting to see, as vaccinations happen, starting to see some volunteers come back. They're just starting to able to see some of our community, you know, members who were teaching classes or bringing, you know, because right now it's really kind of been movies and TV. But I will say, and then I'll take these questions, today was really fun. And I'm like the one man that like gets to like interact a little bit. I'm allowed, but they were able to play bingo today because the volunteer who like loves doing bingo, she was able to come back. And I swear to hear them say like, it's bingo. And we're like, thank God we're not watching TV. Like it's back, because, you know, we have prizes, and it's the very simple things. But that was really exciting to see. So I'm going to answer some of these in the chat. Were you able to help guess COVID vaccines? Interestingly, our guests are amongst some of the folks who are a bit hesitant. about getting vaccines. So we do have a nurse, and I know that she was talking. I didn't talk to Marlene or Jane after. I know Joyce was talking to them about vaccines. I don't know the upshot of that conversation. We've been offered, we've had it down in the pantry. We've offered the ability. And so we partner with some of the folks to get folks vaccines. When it's safe, do you allow Girl Scouts? Jane, you want to, Marlene, do you allow Girl Scouts in the women's room and ninth graders?
So not in the women's room during the time that we're operating. I have had Girl Scouts do certain projects for us. For example, they've helped me, decorate the napping room, which is one of the rooms that right now is not currently in use, but this is where our guests were able to take naps. So little projects like that. They've also helped me create the library. So they were able to do projects like collect books for me and things like that. So there's definitely projects that we could talk about. But as far as in the building during the the women's room operations, no.
I will say, not just in the pantry, there are opportunities for, we have had Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. But yeah, well, you have to be kind of 18 over to be in the women's room, just because in such close quarters. What are opportunities to help out with the organization? So I'm gonna call on Maria, who's our new staff member, Director of Development, just to share a few things. And then I think Cynthia said we are going to send an email out tomorrow to all of you, connecting you, and we will put more details in that of how you can help. But I'll let Maria share a few things.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, and thank you for asking that question, Hillary. So we have 3 very specific ways that you can jump in and help out with the women's room. The first of which is if you'd like to volunteer to bring lunch. That is something that the women really look forward to. And if cooking is not your thing, you can volunteer to provide a gift card, maybe to a local Pasadena restaurant. And Marlene coordinates to make sure that the women have food for lunch that day. So that's option 1. Another way that you can help is we're always accepting in-kind donations. So Jane coordinates with our laundry room, where we have laundry supplies and hygiene kits, and summer's coming, so we'll need flip-flops and tank tops. And so if donating items is more up your alley, that is definitely an option. And then of course, as a local charity and 501c3 nonprofit, the third option is to make a contribution financially. We accept online donations as well as cash check or even DAF funds. So if you'd like to volunteer or make an in-kind donation or a financial contribution, we would be more than grateful. I mean, that is really allowing us to do everything that we're doing at Friends Indeed. So thank you so much for asking.
Thank you. And the last thing I'll say, Cynthia, and I'll be done, is the other thing that COVID has been really hard for is that we can't have people come up and visit. One of the best ways to really, I mean, it's nice to hear the stories and hear us talk and everything, but there is nothing better than coming and taking a tour, or especially you're all ladies, you can come in the women's room anytime and just see what's happening and chat, or see the pantry in action, because really you'll get the feeling of what we do, and so we're really looking forward to, hopefully midsummer, late summer, where we can start to have people back and give tours. So if that interests you, you know how to get a hold of us, and we'd love to have you up there and show you around. So thank you so much for being here and participating and supporting, and thanks to Cynthia. Thanks to Cynthia and Suzanne.
Of course.
And
It's like
Christine.
you just came in from outside. That was like perfect timing. So, oh my gosh, I want to thank you so much, Joshua, for that wonderful presentation, and everybody with Friends Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Joshua, can you share the best way for people to reach out and contact you if they are interested in helping Friends Indeed?
Yes, I'm writing it in the chat. friendsindeedpas.org. Our website is very active. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. Mary is, we're always putting up pictures and see that she's beating me to it. So, and you know, our emails are all on the website, and, you know, you can email any of us, and we really, you know, we're really looking forward to getting to know everyone that we don't know better.
Wonderful. That sounds great. And as I said, I will be sending out a follow-up email tomorrow to everybody with a link to Friends Indeed with all that contact information and how you can get involved if you'd like to. And of course, if you'd ever like to speak to me personally about real estate, or if I can help you in any way, please do not ever hesitate to reach out to me via phone or email. I'm at cynthia@cynthiacohn.com, or you can call me at 626-714-6808. And hoping you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and a fantastic weekend. And thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.